The 27th Australian Historical 10-footer Championship was sailed on the Brisbane River from May the 1st to May the 3rd, 2021, after a 12-month postponement due to COVID. The favourites were the current title holder Dale Jacobsen in Miss Marlene II from New South Wales with Courtney Smith and John Hodder, who won on Lake Macquarie 2 years ago when it was last sailed, and John Anderson in Truant II from Queensland with Bruce Herman and Jim Carradis, who won 3 years ago in Brisbane, the first time for a Queensland team. Also in the fleet of 7 were Avro, Ian Dixon, Peter Hope and Mark Gravison, Marina, David Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Joshua Sloman, Merle, Bruce Legg, Paul Schaefer and Chris Howells, Truant III, John King, Michael King and Susan Hart, and Uncle Fred, Alison Early, Sue Goodhue and Melissa Birmingham, all from Queensland. The historical 10-foot skiffs started in the early 1990s as replicas of the original 10-footers of 100 years ago, with big rigs and 5 crew. But after the first 3 or 4 boats appeared, additions to the fleet began to more closely resemble 1950s 12-foot skiffs, with laminated hulls, high-peaked skiff rigs and 3 crew. Race 1 of 4 got underway in a light to moderate sou'easter. The favourites were prominent early, but so was Uncle Fred, who had the lead close to the mark, but were crossed by Miss Marlene, and overlapped by Truant II on the inside. After a short spinnaker run, the breeze had lightened for the work up the Bulimba Reach. Truant II was first around the top mark with a good lead to Miss Marlene and Uncle Fred. More breeze on the Hamilton Reach saw Truant II with a 3-minute lead on Miss Marlene.
That's where they used to weigh the fish and all. Yeah. That's right, remember there? Yeah, it's all coming back. Yeah. Doesn't matter. But the MG was a lovely boat.
But as they approached the sheltered corner, the breeze lightened and Miss Marlene, still carrying a spinnaker, began to close the gap. Approaching the finish line, Miss Marlene got a big puff. But it faded close to the line and Truant II held on to win by a mere 2 seconds. Race 2 on Sunday morning got underway in another light to moderate sou'easter, this time with the first leg up the Bulimba Reach. Miss Marlene was first around the top mark with a clear lead to Uncle Fred and Truant II. Uncle Fred had rigged their bigger main with a red pennant off Wrecker, a New South Wales boat. The reach back was a bit shy for spinnaker work. Again, there was more breeze on the Hamilton Reach, where Miss Marlene had increased her lead, with Truant II second, and the rest of the fleet bunched up not far behind. The breeze held on the Bulimba Reach, and Miss Marlene moved ahead for a 7-minute lead. Truant closed the lead to about 4 minutes at the finish, but it was a clear victory for Miss Marlene. Race 3 that afternoon sailed the Hamilton Reach first. With an ebb tide running, Truant II was over the line and had to go back. Miss Marlene established a good lead by the first mark, with Truant II rounding in 4th place. Spinnakers were set for the trip back upriver. And the breeze had lightened a bit for the work up the Bulimba Reach. Miss Marlene had held the lead from Truant II and Uncle Fred, and continued to do so on the leg back up the Hamilton Reach and back to the finish, where they had to flag the spinnaker to make the line. With one race to go, Miss Marlene, New South Wales, had 2 wins and a second. Truant II, Queensland, had 1 win and 2 seconds, so Truant II had to win to take out the series. The rule being that in the event of a tie on points, the winner of the last race would win overall. Race 4 was on Monday morning with a steady breeze a bit more in the south. Truant II crossed Miss Marlene on the Hamilton Reach, but back up the Bulimba Reach it was Marina in front and first around the top mark. With Miss Marlene third.
Michael, I'll shake your hand, mate. You were our good foreign hand, mate. I'll shake your hand any time.
The spinnaker run back down river saw Miss Marlene close up a bit, but Marina held her lead.
Don't get caught on that corner again, mate. Keep coming out now. You get one, pull away and go with it.
But at the corner, Miss Marlene went in too far and hit the mud.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. That's a close race, isn't it?
Marina got away from the corner best to round the top mark first, with Truant II in second place. But remember, they have to win today, not just beat Miss Marlene, who struggled to get away from the corner and rounded the Hamilton top mark in 4th place, Merle having moved into 3rd.
Straight on the boy, look.
Good spinnaker work saw Miss Marlene closing the gap, and also saw Truant II take the lead from Marina. Being wary of the lack of breeze at the corner, both favourites went wide and dropped spinnakers for the work up the Bulimba Reach. By the final mark, Marina had again taken the lead.
young blokes is in the Commodores, but where do they see sail in other classes?
Yeah. How do you put it?
18. 3 in the May. The wings.
But with spinnakers set for the final run, Truant II regained the lead. And crossed a minute ahead of the fast finishing Miss Marlene. With Uncle Fred in third place. An exciting race and a great race and series win for Truant II and Queensland. See you again in Lake Macquarie, New South Wales next year.